that's Gray, and I'm just gonna hop in, man. How's everything going? How you been?
Everything's been good. How about you?
Good. Can't complain. Can't complain, right? But yeah, before we deep dive into everything, just for the viewers back at home and stuff, we just want to set the background and kind of let them know who you are, where you come from, right? So, where are you originally from in Ohio?
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Westchester, Ohio. Yep.
Nice. This must have been a fun year, right? The Bengals were going crazy a little bit. Must have been a pretty exciting year.
Yeah.
Tough, tough. When did you begin getting involved in sports? When you were young, older, what's the deal?
I started playing basketball at the age of 4. In kindergarten. Just growing up, watching my older sister play, and I never played another sport. I ran track in high school, but I grew up playing only basketball, so that's all I really know.
Nice. Like you just mentioned, you did track and stuff growing up a little bit. What inspired you to actually pick up the basketball and you know,
I would just say more so my older sister. She went to University of Tennessee the year after they won the national championship. Couple of years, played for Pat Summit. So, just seeing her in the gym. My dad was also a trainer, for basketball and an AU coach as well. So, once I picked up the ball, I just kind of ran with it, and it was something that I fell in love with.
makes sense. Makes sense. Definitely have a background. I wasn't aware of your older sister. If you don't mind, what's your older sister's name? If you don't mind.
Amber Gray.
Sweet, sweet. It seems like it runs in the family, huh? But as it's no secret you're a highly recruited basketball player coming through high school and everything like that. Has it been difficult at all for you to manage a social life as well as keeping up with the basketball? Because we understand how hard it is to be an athlete alone. But at the end of the day, you can't leave, you can't eat, breathe, and just all basketball, right? You got to be able to have a social life, have some friends. Has that been hard to manage throughout the entire process?
I would say it's more hard to stay focused just because you see, I had friends who didn't play basketball. So seeing what they could do and me having to manage what I could do, basically trying to lead a double life, I realized that you can't have both. So there are sacrifices you have to make if you want to be where you want to go and have the goals and future that you want to have. So it's definitely hard, but having a social life, you got to manage time, hang with friends when you can. But I would say the hardest part is just honestly just trying to stay focused and stay on the right path, not really losing yourself in times that you just want to live a regular teenage life.
I was about to say, it definitely seems a lot to juggle, and
Yeah.
I would assume, like anyone else or any other athlete, your probably most available time is your off season. But as we know, most high school athletes are playing AAU, so it's not really an off
Right.
season.
There is no off season. Yeah.
Pretty much, right? So, if you don't mind me asking, in the little times you do have off, what type of drills and what type of training do you do in the off season to prepare you to help you play at a high level?
Um, right now, after the season, I have been going to a strength and speed coach. He trained my team in the off season, but now I go home personally for an hour. It depends. It's a lot of balance, speed, strength, and then I go. My been my trainer, so I go to him, work out for about 2 hours after. Yeah, but I know after the season, I'm on a break right now. I give myself a week just because I have a lot of injuries I'm dealing with right now. So I'm trying to give my body the recovery that it needs and physical therapy and that type of stuff. But that was my typical routine, training for McDonald, Jordan Brand, All Star games, and that's pretty like my off season routine as till I go to college.
You mentioned a lot of things there, especially the McDonald's All America and stuff like that. That's a few of the list of accolades and stuff you've gathered through high school and middle school. Just going on the way up. And I just want to formally congratulate you. You recently committed to Oregon University. Go Ducks! So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
congratulations. And according to ABC Cincinnati, you stated something along the lines like, you feel Coach Fishman and the coaches in the program helped you develop and still have like you still have a lot of growing and stuff to do, right? How much
Right.
did the opportunity to get coached by Kelly Graves play a part in you committing to Oregon?
Honestly, that was pretty much the deciding factor in why I chose Oregon. Off the court, obviously on the court, he's a great coach. You can look up his accolades and you can see that. But just the type of person he is, down to earth, very. If you just met him everyday life, you wouldn't think that he's the head coach of this big of a school. He's just a regular down to earth person. He was somebody I knew I could talk to about anything and not just be basketball. And that was the deciding factor between UCLA and Oregon was I could go to that coach for anything, not just him, even the assistant coaches. I could go to him for anything, whether I'm struggling with basketball, whether I'm struggling with my outside life off the court. So I can't wait to play for him for these next 4 years.
And I love it. I love it, and it's even better to have a coach who's more than a coach off the field, off the court and everything. You have like almost like a life guidance or a walking another parent. You know what I mean? They look out for the best.
Right.
So that's super dope, and I'm really glad you can find that within them, right? But before we even get into all that stuff, you also mentioned your McDonald's All American, Jordan Brand, all this stuff. You've been rewarded not only Gatorade Player of the Year, McDonald's All American, all these different accolades. My question to you is how what does this mean for your legacy, your basketball legacy? What does it mean to you?
It's just very humbling just to see everything that I've worked for finally kind of shine in my light. Just because a lot of times, a lot of us kids, even we're kids at McDonald's, we overlook all the stuff we do because we're just so worried about what we're trying to do next, where we're trying to get next. So sometimes it's just breathtaking to be able to take a step back and be like, I've done all this. I put in the work and everything finally showed in high school. But I just try to stay humble about it. I'm not very outgoing. I'm outgoing, but with that type of stuff, I just try to keep my head down and stay in the gym. Um, Always trying to get better because I know there's somebody out there that, with that type of stuff, what comes with that is more of a target on your back. So there's always somebody watching you, waiting for you to fail, waiting for you to make the wrong move, wrong step. So I just always try to keep my head down and keep working harder to even prove myself more. But it's meant a lot just because I've worked my butt off since for like a couple 13 years now. So it just means a lot. Just to for other people to notice and not just me and my family.
Super dope. Super dope. You put in the work and you finally get the recognition you deserve. I'm very happy for you and well deserved. You know, just before you even before you even take a minute to really look at your body of work and reflect on it, right? You get the call or however the story goes, you find out you become the Gatorade player, McDonald All American, boom, boom, boom. What are your initial thoughts in your head? It could be PG.
It was just kind of like, wow, like this is what I've been working for. But it was also just kind of like not in a cocky way, but I was like, this is something that I knew I was supposed to get, like something that I felt like I've earned. So it was just a right feeling. Everything was just falling in place at the right time almost. But my first initial thoughts were just kind of like, wow, like it's just like it's finally into words. It's not just like dreams. Now it's finally like here. Dreams come true, basically.
Dope, dope, man. That's great. You manifested it. You knew this was coming. You knew this was the goal. That's amazing.
Right.
So you had the privilege at the McDonald's All American game to play with freaking the best girls in the country, right?
Yes.
One of the girls actually was a previous feature article that we interviewed, and we had the privilege of speaking to Ashlyn Jackson, right? You were with
Yeah.
Jackson and several other different girls. How eye opening was that experience to you to realize like yeah, I'm one of those guys, but I'm surrounded by all these like really talented and super freak individuals, right? So how eye opening was that experience to you?
It was just very eye opening. Going into it, I was just kind of thinking like, I don't know if these people are gonna be cocky or too Hollywood, this type of stuff. And it was just so humbling to know that all these kids around me became almost like sisters just within the 5 couple of days that we were there. And the ones at Jordan Brand developing more of a bond. Everybody was just so down to earth, so humble about everything. And some of these kids, even the boys, like these are boys that are going to be top NBA draft picks in the next couple of years. Half of these girls are going to be in the WNBA draft in 4 years. So it's just crazy how down to earth everybody was and just taking in, and everybody supported everybody. Everybody wanted to see everybody shine in that type of light. So it was great. It was a great experience.
Dope, dope. Um, uh, you've seen several different games, throughout your career, right? You've seen girls who play like bigs. You've seen shooters. You've seen spot up shoot. You've seen slashers. There's a bunch of styles of different games, right? Is there
Right.
any is there anybody in the WNBA or NBA you specifically have tried to mold your game into, or that you've taken primarily from to put into yourself?
I preferably watch NBA just because the game is a little bit different. Even though I love watching WNBA, don't get me wrong, I watch all type of highlights. It's just for boys, it's easier for me to watch their moves better. But my favorite player is Kobe. That's my all-time favorite player. So obviously his shooting and his dog mentality, someone I try to take from my dad's favorite player, my sister's favorite player. We grew up Lakers fans. So the mama mentality was something that was always, yeah, it was something that always was just modeled in our family. You work, you put in the work, you stay in the gym. Someone's always coming after you. You got to have that dog in you. But who I try to take notes from, honestly, just from high school ball, was Steph Curry, just because I wanted to, obviously, I'm a shooter, so, and then trying to be that it point guard, being able to use your shot to your advantage, getting people off balance. Steph Curry moves really well without the ball. So my freshman year, when I started getting the double teams and the box and ones, that was something I had to learn how to do. So moving off the ball, coming off staggers, double screens, triple screens. I was watching his movements and changes speeds like all the time and highlights in his game. So yeah.
Jeez Louise, that's great company. That's great company. I didn't know you and your family are diehard Mamba fans. 824 forever. God rest his soul. That's my favorite player.
Right.
I freaking love Kobe. Um,
Yeah.
so I want to ask you this, man, because you've been playing at a high level for a very long time in your career, right? Even I'm assuming AAU, you played against the top girls in the country, and you maintained this talent level throughout your career, right? For the most part.
Right.
Um, from your memory, I want to ask you where was your moment where you knew you had game? Essentially, when did you know like, yo, my time is now? My time is now. I got game. Blah blah blah. When did you know?
Um, I would say honestly, so freshman year, I mean my eighth grade year, is when I received my first offer. And it was just kind of like eye opening, like, wow, like I have the opportunity to go to college for free. Like if I keep working, because scholarships can be taken away. So I was still just like, okay, like gotta keep going, da da da. So I think before I had went to the AU team that I played for up until my last year, I played with them for 3 years. I had a game where I just like went off. Like I had like 32 points by myself, like just crazy in AAU, and I had never done something like that before. So my dad actually, yeah, my dad actually like brought that up to me because he asked me the same question after I got Jordan Brand. He said, when do you remember you were gonna be that it player? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, never really thought about it. And he reminded me of that game. And after that game, I was like, I have a chance to be like really special. And if I take my talent where I'm supposed to do and put it to work, like I have a chance to do what I need to do in these next couple years and be a great player. So now just looking back, like I see like that's crazy for someone who, and I'm younger for my grade. I'll graduate 17. So at
Oh,
the age I was, 12, 13, just doing something like that, that's not what a lot of kids around the country are doing. And that was something I was just like eye opening. Wow, like I have the talent to take somewhere.
super dope, super dope. I love it. I love it. So you knew you were that guy. You knew you had some game
Yeah.
early, 8th grade. I love it. I absolutely love it. I didn't know you were young for your age as well. That's very impressive. That's
Yeah.
just another accolade and notch. Um, but yeah, let's so I'm gonna transition slightly into more the kind of impact that basketball's had on you and your life in general, right? If you
Okay.
don't, if you don't mind me asking, how would you say? I know it's a pretty broad question, but I want you to just take your time and let me know how would you say the game of basketball has changed your life?
I would pretty much say it's just made me into the person I am today, just because I am not chance without basketball. A lot of people say you can't just attach your name to a sport or something, but I've become a stronger person, stronger mentality, mindset, everything that you need in life skills has set me up through the game of basketball. The game of basketball has set me up through that. So just being able to compete, have that type of mindset, just even life skills, creating friendships, creating bonds, learning how to be in different adversities, different times and places, knowing how to adjust to different situations. All that stuff, even though it was on a court, has helped me. It's transferred in my real life, and it's helped me in certain situations. Even when I felt like I was in bad times of space or situations, I thought of basketball, and basketball is something that has got me out of those type of situations. So it's just made me into a better person, overall. It taught me a lot of life skills just from being on the court and being around great people and bonds that I've created.
That's sick. That's so sick. When you take a moment and really when I say like take a moment, I mean like have you ever literally just was like, all right, there's a lot of things happening right now. It's so many things. McDonald's, Gatorade, committed to Oregon. Oh my God, like it's just a bunch of things going. Have you ever taken a moment, sat back, reflected, and was like, oh shit, like this is my body of work, right? Um, you know, what I'm asking is here is pretty much, do you ever really reflect on your success, and does it even shock you at this point?
To be honest, I don't think there's a time where I really just like sat back and just looked back on everything. Even like I'm always just okay, like what's the next thing? Like I'm got like well, as soon as I got back from Jordan, I was like, okay, I gotta get back in the gym. Like I gotta get ready for college. I leave in like 2 months. So I think in a couple weeks, probably after graduation, like looking back on everything, it'll hit me. But I still haven't even really like looked back and reflected because I'm the type of person that's so in the moment. I'm just like tunnel vision type of person. So like I'm just always on go, always just trying to figure out my next move and like all that type of stuff. So I haven't really had a chance to reflect, but that's just kind of like my mindset and how I am, how I've been brought up.
Oh, 100%. Gotta respect it. Look, there's two sides of the coin, man. So a lot of people say, if you're going 100 miles per hour, you're gonna miss what's right in front of you, which is true. But then there's also the aspect of like, listen, my guy,
Right.
I did all this, but I got so much more to go. I just got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
look, listen. There's no judgment here. I totally get both sides. I love it. I love it. Now my next question is, everyone. The reality is, look, everyone isn't super duper happy, and everyone their whole life isn't super duper sad, right? You have up and downs. It's trials and tribulations. That's what life is, unfortunately. Um, when times get tough, whether it was on the court or off, is there a saying or a motto that helped you persevere through tough times, essentially?
Um, I wouldn't have a saying that I would actually I do. At McDonald's we got the opportunity to talk to Iman Shumpert, and he kind of said something that was the sooner you find out nobody cares, the better off you'll be. So it was just kind of like people are gonna hate, people are gonna love you regardless of what you do. So you just have to go out into the world, whether it be on the court, off the court, and you just have to kind of be you, stay true to yourself. That's another thing. Just reminding myself of who I am, who I want to be, my future goals, what I'm working for, and having somebody to talk to, whether that be your family, your friends. I'm a therapist. Having somebody to talk to. I journal. So when times are tough, you just have to get your mind out. I'm the type of person that I'm really to myself, so I'll stay in my head. So I journal. I just try to be in the gym. The gym is obviously like a journal to me too. Just hearing the ball is therapy. So yeah, just stuff like that. It's different for everybody. Not everybody handles stuff the same way. So you just gotta find your peace at that type of time and keep it. To be honest.
100%, 100%. Um, it's a slightly deeper question. I don't know if you've ever thought about in this way, but let's just in a hypothetical, knock on wood, knock on wood, right? But if if Chance Gray basketball career for whatever reason ended today, what would you want your basketball legacy to be?
To be honest, I would just want some people to look back and say she could do a little bit of everything. I don't want to just be known as a shooter or defender or da da da. I want to be known as an all around type of point guard, that it person that had dog in her, that when it came down that type of time they needed her, she came in, like she came through every time. Uh, just somebody who made an impact in the basketball world all around, brought notice to it, just more than a person off the court. I mean, on the court, she was somebody who made an impact off the court as well by being around the people she was surrounded by. Just that type of person, that it girl.
I like that. I love that. I love that a lot, man. You know, here's a question that I'll say this. I've done tons of interviews, and I've been blessed enough to be around you gifted athletes a bunch, and I know it's a tough question because like you said, your mindset is like, listen, I'm doing 100 miles, blah 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 blah. Is there any moment ever have you ever taken a moment to you know understand, I guess, a life outside of basketball and how important that can be for you? Has that ever crossed your mind or anything like that?
That's something my parents have honestly embedded in me a lot. Is just to there has you have to prepare yourself for when the ball gets put down because the ball stops bouncing one day. So there definitely is times I think about it all the time. If I don't make it, then I have to figure out my next step. I have to be prepared, and I think that's another big thing with like NIL and that type of stuff is that stuff can help you take off, and you have to build a lot of relationships with that and use that to your advantage because some people, not everybody makes it. We had a meeting at McDonald's and they said we draft 30 kids and only 10 of those kids are going to make the roster. So you always have to find your next move, your next step, and be prepared and use your relationships to your advantage that you build because. And another thing, like coming out of college with no debt, you're in no debt is like already a head start in life. So that's how I look at it. I'm just trying to build everything up, use relationships I build throughout these next 4 years, even that I've started to build now to my advantage, and just keep going.
Listen, I don't know who's in your corner, but they're telling you the right thing. They're telling you the right things, man. Listen, that's exactly how you play it. A lot of what your next moves regarding basketball or not will come through your relationships, and your relationships mean so much more as you get older. You know what I mean? Always keep those bridges open. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love to hear it, especially from like the youth, stuff like that. It's really good to hear. But in conclusion, is there any, because your story's pretty unique, man. Your story's pretty unique. Ohio, there's a bunch of ballers out there. I went to Rutgers actually, and
Oh, okay.
so yeah, our best player, our best girl basketball player, Ashlyn, she's from Ohio, and she was a huge impact. So more so, I'm saying all this to say, there's a lot of girls, probably there's a lot of young boys or whatever who may know your story and look up to you and resonate with it. Is there any advice, out there at all that you would like to give to them?
My biggest thing would just honestly just focus on you. You are most important in your life. stay focused and stay in the gym. That's the biggest thing you can do. Be a true student athlete. By that, do everything that the people that you want to be looked up, you want to have people look up to you. You have to be that and be that model every day that you step into the school or you step into the gym. Student athlete comes first. Keep your grades up. That's what's going to get you to college. If you're not hitting that GPA, if you're not getting those grades, colleges are not going to take you no matter how talented you are. People aren't going to babysit you when you get to college, because when you get to college, you're really on your own. You have help, but everything's on you. And stay in the gym, stay, have a tunnel vision, keep your mindset focused on your goals and your future if that's what you really want to pursue. But yeah, that's my advice.
That's amazing advice. I really hope all you guys out there, when you guys hear this, you guys implement it. And she's been a great role model throughout her journey. So I really hope you guys implement it and use anything she could give you guys in your daily lives. But with that being said, I would love to thank you again for your time. We understand you're super busy and you got a bunch of things going on. So I would love to thank you again for your time, Chance. I want to congratulate you for all of your accolades, your latest commitment to Oregon. Very proud of you, and I wish you all the best. All right.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.